Hey, what's up, everybody? Quick video. We're gonna go over an announcement that was made recently, and Midas DAO, my staking in it, and also currently where we're sitting at with the price, and a little bit of a small discussion on what I think will happen right before the migration. So it's something that I will take into account, but I will kind of like encourage you to think about this as well. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just documenting my road to financial success. So anything that I fail at, my losses, things like that, I want you guys to see that so that way you can learn from my mistakes. But anyway, let's get into it real quick. So as you can see, things are looking up from yesterday. It's only been 24 hours since Revenge of the Crown has taken an effect. And currently we're sitting at 3,227% APY. It's actually down a little bit from yesterday. It was supposed to increase in APY over the next coming days up to migration. I'm not entirely sure what's going on, but again, it is for the protocol. It is 41 days runway, and as opposed to yesterday, which was 42. And you can see here, let me increase this for you. You can see here the APY was 3,362,000, and now it's 3,227,000. But it's fine as long as we're in the millions. That's what really counts. And the APY, what I initially thought was going to happen was they were going to do the 43-digit APY like they did originally, which was like that dohecadecillion number. I'm kind of glad that they didn't. I believe that having that high of APY, it will bring a lot of people coming in and a lot of whales into it, bringing a lot of liquidity, a lot of price movement. But at the same time, I think in those 3 days, you will see a lot of dips, like hardcore dips. I can see them doing something like that, like a day before the migration period, so that way, excuse me. So that way whales can't just immediately jump out because of that warm-up period. But anyway, we're sitting at $61.68 for crown price. Yesterday was $58.04. And the treasury balance yesterday was 1,857,000, and currently we're sitting at 1,872,000. So that's dope. We're actually still increasing with that. As far as my stake balance go, I'm sitting at 32 crown. Yesterday, let me see here. Let me skim through it. Yesterday, I had 31.2 crown. That's dope. Excuse me, let me bring this back. Now I'm sitting at 32.37 crown, which is $1,997. I'm almost hitting 2,000 bucks, and I'm getting $19 a day. This is equivalent to, I want to say $58, 57 to the $58 range, which is awesome. Right quick, I do want to go over something. Getting into Midas, I originally got in with, I'm gonna say $800. I wrote it down somewhere, $800, and then I added another $5, which made it $1,300. Yeah, I want to say it's like $1,400, or no, $1,300, like total when I actually got into Midas, and I lost a good chunk of that. So now I am currently in the green, and not only that, I lost money messing with other projects. I'm talking about like Parrot DAO, that was a $68 loss because I was just testing it out. Vortex DAO, I got in at the top and wrote that down to the bottom before I got out of that. Jade Protocol was another really big one that I lost a lot of money in, especially with their smart coin and stuff like that. It was just like when I was getting into like DAO and D-Finance in general, I didn't really know what to look for in terms of good projects. So getting into these other projects, I lost a lot. So I think with Jade Protocol, I got in with 500, and I lost about 300 of that dollars, and then I was only able to get like 200 bucks. So what I did with that 200 was I moved some into Midas, which that would equate to the initial, to the second round of like, I want to say $500 that I put in. In Midas, I had got that from Jade, and then on that wallet, because I had two separate wallets, I staked $70 worth of Midas, and I was able to accumulate 4 crowns in my other wallet. So I grew $70 into $233 or something like that so far with that other $70 in my other wallet. So that's great. So currently I actually have about 36 crown total. I'm gonna take out that the other 4 crown from the other wallet, and I'll explain why. One moment. All right, so if you take a look at this, I'm gonna put a picture up, but if you take a look at this, I have 4.15 crown currently, and the only thing I'm getting right now during these rebase periods is about $6 a day. Now that $6 is nothing to really like scoff at, because I only put in $70 initially and it grew to $254. That's great. But as far as these like 4 crowns go, I think I would have a better chance of taking out this investment here, having $254 to like kind of play with, and I'm gonna sit on it a little bit more, at least until tomorrow night, to see how the price movement goes, because I still believe we can get into like the $65 to $70 range, in the next day, just to see how things go. And if I can get this to around $300, I would definitely love that, because I have other projects that I kind of want to get into, and it'll also help me with my initial investment from Crown, so that way I don't have to mess with my actual like my big wallet, and I can just like kind of keep that state. So I'll use these funds to get into other projects. But anyway, back to our original topic. Let's go over to the price action. So this is where we're currently sitting at, $61.37. We're in that range. You can see here it got to a high of almost, let me see here, how high, like $65. It got to $65.30 odd. And that was that today? Yeah, that was today. Yeah. And you can see, if you really know how to sidestep this stuff, if you ride it to the top and you're quick enough, you can, get out, get into MIM, possibly, catch it down here at the bottom and rack up like maybe 5 or 6 coins. But at the same time, with something like that sidestepping method, I tried to do that, but it's so hard to actually tell what's going on. The sidestepping method is only good if it's actually on a decline going down, and you can see here from the trend lines I was drawing, we're on a high trajectory right now, and there's really no signal that it's gonna really drop anytime soon. I did try to do some like smaller like 6-hour trend lines here, but again, it didn't really break down into anything that was in a downward movement. This drop here was really hard, but again, it just bounced off of the support line here and just still kept going forward. And right now, I want to say we're in a small consolidation period, because there's just this sideways movement of everyone just kind of sitting back and chilling on what the APY is right now. Again, it would be kind of dumb to sell off now, as opposed to waiting until to see if they have an extremely high APY spike again tomorrow, if they're actually going to increase the APY before migration. But you can see this big sell-off here. Now, when this sell-off happened, you would think that it would keep cascading down, but it didn't. And one of the reasons why it didn't was because, let me pull up Discord real quick, and I can show you guys, is a small buyback for the culture. So this was yesterday, 10:50 p.m. They bought back Crown. They bought back 853 Crown at $42,000. So that's awesome that they did that. So that just kind of kept the sentiment going of like, hey, we're still in this. I want to say back here in this area, in this area here, that's when the Discord community was talking about version 2 Crown, or finding ways to like make this Crown work again, and the sentiment was pretty bullish. So that you can see like the price movement, price action here, and then it just kind of leveled out until recently, where the AMA happened. Let me see here. see, this was, I want to say this was like around the time where I had bought into it and was starting to ride it back up. Yeah, it's either, I want to say it's either here or probably here where I had bought back into it, but I forgot. Because it did dip again since I had bought into it. It did get dip down to like $15, so I couldn't buy back in because I didn't have anything else to invest. But anyway, the AMA happened, which was, I want to say it was either on the 5th or the 6th, talking about what was going on. And then we had that Medium post, the one that I made a video about. You can find that somewhere on a card. So that Medium post talked about everything they were going to do with version 2, the 1-to-1 swap ratio, what they were planning on doing before the migration, so that way we can accumulate more coins, that kind of thing. And since then, people have been jumping in, staking. Those who got in but were starting to get a profit, you'll see that they took out like initial investments here, probably got a little bit of profit here, and then others just bought in and staked, and the price kept rising until we got to, I want to say, our first set of rebases. I want to say it was either this one or this one where we got Revenge of the Crown, and you can see that giant spike and then the massive sell-off. And I want to say with that sell-off around right here, around right here somewhere is probably that $40,000 buyback in this area, because it did happen yesterday around the 10th. So we got this lovely price action here, and still more sales, more people taking profit, that kind of thing. Now what I'm thinking is going to happen is that a day before, close to 24 hours before they do like remove the liquidity, because at that point, once trading stops, you can't jump out. I'm thinking that people will ride this up as high as they can, and you probably see a massive sell-off at one point for anyone who doesn't want to get into version 2. Because that's the thing, version 2 is going to have taxes and all these other things, and we just don't know what it's going to do, right? We don't know what a project is going to do until that project actually start making progress in what they say. Currently, Midas has been making progress with a lot of the stuff that they've been saying. So it only stands to reason that if you believe in a project, you would stick with it no matter what. I just believe that there's people in here because it's human nature to be selfish, right? It's human nature to think about yourself, to think about your family, to think about, your household, things like that. So if people are in here making money, I can't be mad at them, right? Because that's, at the end of the day, we all want to be wealthy, and you can't be wealthy without taking profit. That's just how it works. Other than just keeping your coin in here and just letting it sit and accumulate like you're Scrooge McDuck or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's cool to have a lot of coin, but when are you ever going to spend it? When are you ever going to live your life? When are you ever going to minimize your risk and take out your profit, so that way, if everything happens, if regulations happen, if the protocol fails for some reason, and I'm not just talking about with Midas, I'm talking about with everything. If any of these worst case scenarios happen, you can still have money to fall back on because your whole kit and caboodle isn't down the drain, right? So I just picture that happening, that there are whales in here right now with different bags, different amounts, and some of them will be like, you know what, it was a great run, but I don't want to get into version 2, or I'll get into version 2 like a month after it starts taking off, and they just sell, right? And this could possibly go down to 40, 30, 20 bucks, right? But we don't know. The key is to make sure that you have enough tokens, so that way when you get into version 2, you can do your thrones. And I'm not trying to spread fear or anything like that, but these are things that pop up in my mind that I feel that it wouldn't be right if I kept it to myself, right? If I were to come in here and say, I took out my initial investment and I still have, 10 or 20 crowns left to do thrones, but I still have my initial investment. So I'm playing with house money. And again, house money is basically the money that you get after taking out your investment everything is pure profit after that point, stuff that you wouldn't have before playing the game. That's what house money is. So I would suggest, if you're into that sort of thing, just be on the lookout for it. Be ready to see that happen and not panic, because it could possibly happen. And since we're on the 8th, we're really close to the 9th, and they said that, I want to say they said about the 10th or something. No, I think it was the 11th or 12th where they want to make sure. Oh no, it was the 10th. It was like Monday. They want to make sure that everything was in place, but only time will tell. That's all I have for you guys. Sorry if I made this a long video, but hey, if you found any value in it, please consider subscribing. We're at 72 subs right now, and those subscribers are really helping me out. Honestly, my goal currently is just to get a YouTube partnership, so that way I can actually make more content and get paid for it through ad revenue. Like, that would be great if I can do that, so that way I can get into more of these projects without necessarily having just to sit around and just kind of speculate and see what's going on. I want to test this stuff out and show you guys like what I'm doing. For right now, I wish you guys well. Stay blessed out there, and until all are free, peace out, y'all.